Hey everyone, I wanted to share some breaking news with you in addition to some of the shady games that Mike Bloomberg is playing behind the scenes that not many people know about. So first off, news just broke that Bernie Sanders has endorsed Joe Biden. I just want to make a note that it is April. It is still mid-April, and he has made the endorsement. And he's probably going to do dozens, if not more, campaign events on Biden's behalf. And I guarantee you that regardless of how much effort Bernie Sanders puts into helping Biden get elected, truth of the matter is he's going to get blamed if Biden ends up losing the election. Now, honestly, things are super uneasy right now because of the ongoing pandemic. And even Dr. Anthony Fauci said that he's unsure as to whether or not Americans will be able to vote in November, vote in person at least. So I'm a little concerned about the state of our democracy overall because there's a significant likelihood that our election will just be upended by what's going on with this pandemic. So we'll see how that develops and how it plays out. Obviously, lots of coronavirus updates to give you guys during the main show. But for the sake of sticking to news regarding the Democratic primary, I thought that it would be important to share a story that Ryan Grimm broke in The Intercept. So Ryan Grimm, reporting in The Intercept, found that a Bloomberg-founded company known as Hawkfish, he founded it back in 2019, is operating at a loss, and it is attempting to court certain political campaigns, certain, political action committees, for instance, in an effort to collect incredibly important voter data. Now, if you are looking to have any type of political power whatsoever, and this is really a discussion about power, you need that data. That is one of the most valuable things that you can really have in your possession if you want to be considered a powerful person, a powerful candidate in the political world in the United States. So Hawkfish, again, founded just last year by Michael Bloomberg, ran Mike Bloomberg's campaign and is now operating at a loss. Mike Bloomberg is paying to keep this company functioning, and by the way, he has employed all sorts of Silicon Valley execs in order to keep it running. But why would he do it? Why would he want to continue operating at a loss? Well, first off, Hawkfish is trying to court Joe Biden. And Joe Biden, of course, is going to have incredibly important voter data that Mike Bloomberg wants access to. So according to Ryan Grimm's reporting, Hawkfish, which Bloomberg founded in 2019, I've said that like 50 times now, but I just want to make it clear that he founded it, okay? He's the person who owns this company, was not only the backbone of his campaign, but is still not able to sell its track record or quality of service since it has no other major clients and few, if any, minor ones. So Democratic operatives who have been pitched by Hawkfish say that Hawkfish told them, hey, we're able to offer all these great things, including extraordinarily low prices, right? So you can save money by hiring us to run your campaigns. And so they'll charge the low prices in order to get access to that campaign's voter data. Ryan Grimm managed to speak to an insider over at Hawkfish. And so this is what he found by speaking to this person, of course, on the condition of anonymity. A Hawkfish insider who spoke on the condition of anonymity so as to not jeopardize employment, obviously, confirmed that the company is willing to operate at a loss in order to grab control of the party infrastructure, explaining that the firm hopes to offer a fee that would be small enough to entice the Biden campaign while passing muster with federal regulators. And the reason why they're concerned about federal regulators is because they might, run into campaign contribution issues. Obviously, there are some limits when it comes to how much an individual can give to a campaign and how much a company or an organization can give to a campaign. So they have to charge something, but it's clear that they're not, they can't offer this type of service for free because it could be considered an in-kind contribution. But based on the way this is reported, it makes me think that the fee is so unbelievably little because, again, they're trying to court big campaigns, including that of Joe Biden's presidential campaign. So right now, the insider also revealed to Ryan Grimm that when the objective isn't money, this is a direct quote, when the objective isn't money but control, $18 million is incredibly cheap to become the center of gravity for all Democratic political information, which we would be if both Biden and House Democrats have come through us. So not only are they trying to court Joe Biden, they're also trying to court, really big organizations within the Democratic Party. So before I get to those organizations and some of the corruption that plays a role in all of this, I do want to note that right now, the DNC collects voter data through all 50 states. So they have some tense relationships depending on which states they're dealing with, but nonetheless, that's how they collect the data. And I was actually shocked to learn that the DNC doesn't necessarily shield or withhold that data from other candidates, including individuals who wish to challenge Democratic incumbents. So let's say there's an AOC type candidate who wants to challenge a Democratic incumbent from the left. The DNC still makes this voter data available to them, right? But under this system where Hawkfish would collect that data and much more, think about how much control that would give Hawkfish, especially when it comes to, yes, the aspirations of someone like Mike Bloomberg, but more importantly, how it could withhold data from candidates it doesn't like. And if you don't have that voter data, it really does put you at a significant disadvantage. So what Bloomberg is trying to do here is essentially skirt or hinder our democratic process, which I will admit already has quite a few issues of its own, but this would make the situation far worse. So aside from Joe Biden's campaign, Hawkfish also is trying to work with the House Majority PAC and Senate Majority PAC. So of course they have data that they've collected, and in order to, I think, in my opinion, I guess, use some financial influence over these PACs, keep in mind that Bloomberg has actually donated to both PACs handsomely, to say the least. For instance, when it comes to the House Majority PAC, he donated $10 million as recently as last December. Bloomberg also gave $20 million to the Senate Majority PAC in 2018. And Hawkfish has approached Voto Latino, which is also a little concerning. They have aimed to register 1 million Latino voters throughout the country, especially in battleground states. And they want to do so ahead of the upcoming general election. And so, of course, they're going to have some data that Hawkfish is eyeing, to say the least. And Bloomberg also gave to that organization a whopping $500,000 in March. So like last month, okay? And so these are things that we need to keep our eye on, because when we talk about corruption, oftentimes we just talk about simple legalized bribery, right? Which is happening in this story as well. But we also have to think about the infrastructure around our politics and these various think tanks, these various third-party contractors that get hired by various political organizations and candidates, because they apparently have their own motives, and in a lot of cases, they might have their own sway in various elections. I mean, just take a look at what happened in the primaries in Iowa, for instance. All of that technical mess, I think, has, a lot to do with the third-party vendor that the Iowa Democrats decided to hire. So these are things that we do need to keep our eye on. And one thing that, I've been a lot more focused on lately is this question of power, because it's not always just about money, especially when it comes to people like Bloomberg. It's also about solidifying power. It's about compiling power, and that's what we're seeing with what Hawkfish is attempting to do here with their collection of voter data. Anyway, guys, keep an eye out for that and more. I'll see you soon.